In this podcast episode with Dean Phillips, an American businessman and congressman, the discussion delves into his decision to run for president, the challenges he faced, and his political convictions. Phillips shares a personal story of loss, highlighting the impact of his father's death in the Vietnam War on his life. This experience shapes his belief in the importance of equal opportunities for all individuals, regardless of their background. Witnessing the 2016 election results and the emotional response of his daughter, Phillips felt compelled to take action. He ran for Congress and later for president, driven by a desire to promote unity, participation, and respect in American politics. Phillips criticizes the two-party system in the United States, highlighting how it limits competition and choice for voters. He emphasizes the need for more options and voices in the political landscape, advocating for a more diverse and inclusive democracy. By challenging the status quo and running as an independent candidate, Phillips aims to disrupt the traditional norms of party politics and offer a fresh perspective to voters. While acknowledging Joe Biden's integrity and empathy, Phillips raises concerns about the administration's handling of issues such as the southern border crisis and fiscal responsibility. He advocates for a more proactive approach to border security and fiscal management, emphasizing the need for long-term solutions that benefit all Americans. He also proposes innovative policies, such as Dream Accounts, to empower young people and address economic disparities in the country. Phillips reflects on his political orientation, shaped by his family's history and values of social justice and compassion. He identifies with the Democratic Party's commitment to supporting marginalized communities and standing up for the underdog. Despite occasional disagreements with party platforms, he remains rooted in his belief in the Democratic Party's ethos of inclusivity and advocacy for social equality. In light of the rising tide of anti-Semitism in the Western world, Phillips shares his concerns and experiences with combating prejudice and discrimination. As a Jewish individual, he confronts the pernicious nature of anti-Semitic rhetoric and the need for collective action to address and combat hate speech and bigotry. Through advocacy and engagement, he strives to promote understanding, tolerance, and unity in the face of intolerance and discrimination. While running for president in 2024, his campaign faced numerous obstacles, including a lack of name recognition, resistance from his own party, and a media ecosystem that seemed aligned against him. Phillips faced resistance from his own party when he publicly called for the incumbent president to pass the torch and encouraged other potential candidates to step forward. His decision to run for president was met with dismay from his caucus, as it was unconventional to challenge the incumbent. Despite his efforts to recruit other candidates, no one stepped forward, leading him to launch his own campaign just 2 weeks before the New Hampshire filing deadline. Phillips adopted a strategy inspired by Eugene McCarthy, who challenged President Johnson in 1968 and inspired him to leave the race by generating significant support. He focused on performing well in New Hampshire, where the Democratic Party had shifted the first-in-the-nation primary status to South Carolina. He believed that a strong showing in New Hampshire could help him gain momentum and challenge the incumbent president. Phillips discusses the role of legacy media in perpetuating the duopoly and stifling alternative voices. He notes how mainstream media outlets often prioritize access to power over providing a platform for diverse perspectives. This results in a lack of coverage for independent candidates like himself, who do not fit into the traditional party mold. Phillips draws parallels between the appeal of figures like Donald Trump and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He suggests that their willingness to challenge the establishment and disrupt the status quo resonates with voters who feel unheard and disenfranchised. Their unscripted and authentic communication style contrasts with the polished and scripted rhetoric of traditional politicians. Phillips emphasizes the importance of empathy in political leadership. He notes that while Joe Biden is perceived as empathetic, his ability to connect with the average American is lacking. In contrast, Trump's ability to make people feel heard and understood, despite his lack of empathy, has garnered support from many working-class individuals. Despite facing obstacles in the legacy media, Phillips found more success in the world of new media. Platforms like podcasts allowed him to engage in long-form discussions and connect with a diverse range of audiences. These interactions provided him with a deeper understanding of various issues and perspectives, ultimately shaping his campaign experience. The conversation shifts to the role of big tech companies like Google in shaping public discourse. Phillips expresses concern over the power these companies wield in controlling information and influencing public opinion. He discusses the need for greater competition in the tech industry to prevent monopolies and ensure a diversity of voices and viewpoints. As technology advances, individuals like Elon Musk are gaining unprecedented influence and power. Phillips acknowledges the potential for individuals to shape the future in significant ways, but also raises concerns about the concentration of power in the hands of a few. Phillips highlights the dangers of regulatory capture, where powerful entities use their influence to further their own interests. He points to the example of Google and its shift away from its original motto of "Don't be evil." He stresses the need for greater oversight and regulation to prevent companies from abusing their power and manipulating public discourse. Throughout the conversation, Phillips emphasizes the importance of competition in driving innovation and promoting diverse viewpoints. He calls for a return to healthy debate and discussion in politics and the media, where ideas are challenged and scrutinized. He believes that promoting competition and diversity of thought is essential for a thriving democracy. As a solution to the current power dynamics in politics, Phillips advocates for campaign finance reform. He argues that limiting the influence of money in politics is crucial to leveling the playing field and ensuring that all voices are heard. He believes that by addressing campaign finance issues, we can create a more equitable and transparent political system.